My name is Jasmine Salas, Communications and Membership Manager for the Chicago Citywide Literacy Coalition. Thank you for tuning in to our Rooted in Racial Justice video project. This video project was inspired by the history of adult education. Citizenship Schools, created by Septima Clark, Esau Jenkins, and Bernice Robinson off the Sea Island located off of South Carolina's coast.
Septima Clark was born in 1898. She taught children on Johns Island, South Carolina, and later began teaching adults to read and write in the evenings. She developed her own teaching materials for adults despite her limited resources. For example, her students wrote stories on large dry cleaner bags instead of on a chalkboard. Septima lost her job after South Carolina law barred teachers from being members of the NAACP. She accepted a job at the Highlander Folk School in Tennessee as a training director. The Highlander Folk School was a hub of social movement activity and leadership development. Both Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King Jr. had connections to the Highlander. Septima invited one of her former students, Esau Jenkins, a bus driver and farmer from Johns Island, to attend classes at the Highlander. Esau used his bus as a rolling school, distributing materials on voter registration and reviewing the laws line by line with his passengers. One of his passengers asked him where she could go to learn how to read and write and further this education. And after being rejected by the local school principal and a minister, Esau turned to Septima Clark and the Highlander Center. Citizenship School classes began in 1954 out of an old building converted into a grocery store with 2 hidden classrooms. The idea of educating Black folks in the South was still controversial and extremely unsafe. The early citizenship school programs existed out of the sight of white neighbors. Septima recruited her cousin, Bernice Robinson, as a teacher. Her classes met twice a week for 2 hours a night. Bernice would ask her students what they wanted to learn and then develop teaching materials to meet those needs. She created vocabulary lists using words like tomato, cotton, register, and imprisonment, words that adults needed to know based on their work in the community on Johns Island. Bernice also asked her students to share their stories about their work while she would write them down. She would later tell students, "This is your story. We're going to learn how to read using your story." As students learned how to read and write, they became more confident to stand up to racism. Victoria Gray, a teacher who was trained by Septima Clark, said that the citizenship school classes freed people. They had become convinced that they had rights. Bernice Robinson and the rest of the teachers saw the leadership potential that some students had and invited them to attend trainings at the Highlander School. These racially integrated trainings featured students learning from each other's experiences and developing collective solutions to community issues like poverty, housing, discrimination, and racism. According to Septima, the basic purpose of Citizenship Schools was to discover local community leaders in addition to helping Black folks in the South learn how to read and write. Her philosophy for recruiting teachers was to find respected members of the community who could teach, even if they weren't trained instructors themselves, as long as they could, quote, read well aloud and write their names in cursive, quote. This philosophy allowed citizenship schools to spread, and by September 1963, there were 700 teachers trained to execute this curriculum and 50,000 new voters that could be traced back to the schools.
These schools are considered the most successful literacy campaign to date in the U.S., reaching thousands of Black Southerners and giving them the skills necessary to register to vote, pass literacy tests, and also become leaders in their community. We wanted to explore the question, can adult education return to its roots as a tool to fight for racial justice? We sat down with 3 adult learners in Chicago to discuss.
My name is Doris Gooden, and I'm with Literacy Chicago Adults Program.
My name is Roychelle Davis, and I'm with the Garden Center with Adult Education.
My name is Maria Velasco, and I'm here at the Learning Center trying to get my GED.
I encounter racists almost every other day. Sometimes I could be walking and I say good morning, and people just keep walking, but I still say good morning and I smile. Not only that, different places that I go to, sometimes people don't want to wait on me because I'm black. But I still smile, and then I try again. And then some places, like when I go out to eat, they will serve me last, and then they will serve someone else. I keep on, trying. Racism is really sad, and it's right here in the city too.
I was working at a nursing home, and the patient was prejudiced, and I was assigned to take care of her daily needs. And when I approached her to give her wash her face or hygiene, she refused my services, and she was like, I hate black, don't touch me. So the next day when I came, they was like, well, you got her again, and you must get her up and get her dressed and, get her to the breakfast table and stuff like that. So I went in there and I attempted to touch her to, give her daily cleansing. And she still did the same thing. No, don't touch me. I don't like black. I don't want you near me and stuff like that. So I had on a white smock with long sleeves. And the first day I had on a short sleeve smock. So she saw my skin. So the next day I wore a long sleeves white smock. And and when I went over there to touch her, she said, no, I don't like black, I don't like black. But she was suffering from dementia, so they come and they go. So I put my arm near her arm. I said, see, I'm not black, I'm just as white as you. So she looked at the white smock and she relaxed. And I had on gloves, so she didn't see my hands. So she allowed me to do what I had to do to her. But I was like, wow.
I used to live on the north side of Irving Park and Laramie. There's a lot of Polish people there, and I wanted to do my hair. So I went to one of the salons there, and sadly I was not being taken care of. Other customers would come in and they were obviously Polish, they were being taken care of, and I wasn't. I'm not the type of person that likes to argue, so what I did, I just got up and left. I did feel bad, but I just left.
It made me feel bad because I knew she needed help. And regardless of where it's coming from, you can't help yourself. So I felt like in a situation like that, you would accept any help you could get.
I felt really sad, and we're in the 21st century. I did not think that would still be happening now, but it still does, and it's very upsetting.
Racist to me is sad. I look at it, everyone has their choice, but I look at it as a sad thing because for one thing, we're all human beings. We all bleed the same blood. We all speak different language, but when it all boils down, we're all one.
Discrimination's been out there for so long, and sadly, it's still out there. And I wish we could make a change and try really hard, peacefully. I think we could make a little change if we try to do it peacefully.
I always thought that it was something from our ancestors or our past that, we overcome that. We're seeing it more now, and I don't know where it came from, this big, like the Band-Aid came off and whoop, it's here, We have to deal with it because it's more active now.
I think it would be good for adult education to fight racism.
People without an education, it's very hard for them to be respected or get a good job. An education is our future. Our future, our kids' future. And yes, I believe an education can help a lot.
I have no hate in my heart because it's just not there. But some people don't. Reason why they hate is because they haven't been taught.
I think it should be a part of the school system, period. I really do, from early childhood on up. Because it's a learned behavior and it's being passed down through the generations. And the only way that I feel as though we can sort of change it is starting with the younger ones. They're more acceptable to learning. The older the age, the stubborner person, and they have already set in their mind what it is about it that they don't want to deal with.
Some people don't even know why they hate one another. And then Adult Chicago helps a lot because once you get to know things, then your thinking will be different. Get to know yourself. If you're not in a school, get in a school because education is the key to everything. When I say everything, it's because a lot of us, we don't like one another and we don't even know one another. You can't judge a book by its color.
I think it would be a good idea to have big gatherings with different races, like a picnic or go to parts of Chicago in big groups with different races, show people that we are actually all the same. We are not different. Not because our skin has a different color means we are different. We just need to actually give each other a chance to get to know each other and not be judged by the cover.
I believe someday, I don't know when, but someday we're all gonna realize we are all on this earth and we're gonna have to share. But we never know. The same person that you don't like might be the one that help you.
I think we can make a change if we get together, if we actually, all of us get together and try to make a change.
So just keep your head up and believe in yourself.